Hey Legacy Builders, welcome back to Mind Your Money. In today's video, I'm going to be closing out my February 2024 budget. So I'm going to walk through the monthly budget, the goals we had, some of the savings goals plus personal goals, and then I'll walk through each paycheck budget. So I'm doing it like this because this is how I've been able to manage it after having the baby. So if you like budgeting videos, if you want inspiration for how to do your own or how to do a closeout, then go ahead and stay tuned. I hope that whatever I share with you and how I share and my process being shared with you will be an inspiration and will encourage you to check on all of those goals, all of those budgeted amounts at the end of the month and see where it lined up. So the very first thing is for me is checking our goals and to-dos. So right here in this little corner, I wrote a few things that I wanted to remind myself to focus on. We had our anniversary, my husband and I, in the month of February, and we didn't really have a big celebration, but he bought me a beautiful watch, which I love. So we didn't really get to spend alone time right now since I'm still in my postnatal recovery period, and things are just busy. But we did share with each other. Pay off November credit card charges was another one. We have not done that, so I put an X there. I did put a check next to annual bills because the goal was $500 and we hit that goal in the month of February. Track all expenses. I did that. I have to do that religiously almost because every dollar that we spend, every dime that we spend, we have to know where it went and why did it go there, so we can have a plan of attack when we're paying back our credit card, and so we know how much we need to realistically save for all of our different spending categories. Restrict miscellaneous spending, we did that. I think there was only one miscellaneous charge, and I'll talk about that when I do my debt confession video. The 100 envelope challenge, I just want to continue to contribute to that. So we might not be able to do the larger envelopes right now, but we're still putting money towards it so that we can save that $10,000 in cash. So that's just a quick snapshot of my goals and to-dos. It's important to list out whatever you need to focus on, whatever goals you have in the month, whatever restrictions you need to put on yourself temporarily, just so that you can check it off when you did it or put an X and revisit it for another month. So we planned for an income of $4,000. These are all of the bills that we have to pay every month. Rent was $1,500. Geico, which is our car insurance, is budgeted at $85. We don't have our gym membership. We suspended it for right now, so that was $0 as budgeted. Our electricity bill, we budgeted $50. Our internet bill, which is just Wi-Fi alone, $85. Two life insurance policies. The first one was $33. The second one is $36. And then Metro, which is our cell phone provider, we budgeted $94. National Grid is our gas company. We've had a credit on there since, oh my gosh, I think like sometime mid last year, and we still have that credit, so we don't owe anything right now. Our total budgeted amount for fixed expenses was $1,883. And I'll go down the line. So rent was as budgeted, that hasn't changed. Our Geico insurance was actually $82.64, so we were under budget there. $0 for the gym membership for right now. $57.65 was our electricity bill, so we were over budget. Let me see if we do the math. 85 minus 82.64. So we were under budget by $2.36 for our car insurance, which is good. And then we were over budget by $7.65. We had internet come out at $84.99. Life insurance 1 was $32.50. Life insurance 2 was $36 this month. Normally this is $35.88, but I just transferred the whole $36 to the account where this draft comes from. $93 was the actual bill for cell phone, and then we had nothing for National Grid. So two bills this month which are normally $93 and about $100, zero. So that was nice. $1886.78 is where we ended up. So we were more than what we budgeted because our electricity bill was higher this month, and I didn't use the actual amount. I rounded up to the whole number to send this over. So it wasn't too bad for the bills we have to pay every single month. And then when we look at our variable expenses down here at the bottom, these are all our giving, savings, and what else? Investments, regular household expenses that we save for so we can spend from our credit card and pay it back from these accounts. So just let me break that down real quick. So if you haven't been here before, what I like to do is I set a certain amount of money to put towards like my household account, for example. This is a high yield savings account with Capital One 360. Whatever money we save in this account in a month, we spend from it week to week, and we use our credit card, and then I track all of the expenses. How much did we spend for household expenses, and just pay back from this account. Every one of our savings accounts has a purpose. So that's how I use it. I hope that makes sense. Tithe was $400 budgeted. Emergency fund was $400 budgeted. Investments was $200 budgeted. Purpose funds, which are those short-term savings, we have about 12 or 14 of them. $400 was the budgeted amount to save there. For cash binders, we were to stuff $500 in the month of February. Household account was to get 100. Miscellaneous was to get 50. Our cushion in our checking account was to get $67, and then I left the space for unbudgeted just in case something came up. So for variable expenses, we budgeted $2,117. And then what actually happened was $415 is what we gave in the month. So that means our actual income was $4,150. So our emergency fund was to get 400 and just got $25. The investments, we were to invest 200, we invested 235. Our purpose funds, this is where I was really excited because we budgeted to save 400, but we saved $676.77, which is awesome. So we praise God for that. Cash binders, we pulled out $525 in cash to stuff in the month of February. Household did get $100. Miscellaneous account got $50, and our cushion got the remaining $69.26. Although we used it because we had random things come up that we had to use the money for. But that's fine. Sometimes you have to use your debit card. And so that means our total variable expenses was $2,096.03, which is under what we budgeted. Mostly, I think, because the emergency fund didn't get the 400. It got $375 less. But this is what we saved and gave and invested in the month of February. So if you add the 1886 and 78 cents for fixed expenses plus $2,096.03 for variable expenses, that's a total of $3,982 and 81 cents. That means I'm off somewhere. I don't know where, but we're off somewhere because our income that we used was $4,150. So if we subtract that, 167.19 is our plus. So we had $167.19 more. Don't know where it went. I don't know where it went. And I normally would track like a hawk and see where did that money go. But I don't have time for that. So I don't have time for that right now. Oh, let me tell you this. Okay. So on this side of the page, I wrote where we have investments, and how we broke it down. So Fidelity was to get $60. I think we put a little bit more, and I'll check it when I do my paycheck review or recap. Robinhood was to get $50. Schwab was to get $50, and 529s for two of my children were to get $40 this month. So we met or exceeded these goals for some of them because we did invest $235. Purpose funds, we were to save $400. We saved most in annual bills since that was our goal for the month to make sure we hit $500. So we were putting like $120, $122 every single week into that fund. So this got the most. Food got $100. Transportation got 50, wellness got 50. And then for cash binders, um, I don't remember exactly how I broke all of it down. We did give to most of our challenges, and then I had to put money into my personal binder. So we hit 525 instead of 500, but we did that. So that was good. No spend days I tracked on this little calendar on the side here, and it looks like we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, maybe more, but we had at least 9 no spend days in the month of February, which is decent. So on to my paychecks. Paycheck budget number 1, we budgeted for $1,000 and it ended up being $1,250. So instead of $100, $125 went to tithe, $75 was invested, $210 was saved, including $120 to annual bills. Cash, we did take out cash the first week. I don't remember how much it was though, so let me check that really quick. It was $150 is what we took out, and then $375 was put aside towards March's rent. $140.29 was a total of 2 bills we paid that week. $25 went to household account, $25 went to the miscellaneous account, and $61.75 stayed back in the cushion. So that should have been, I just want to make sure I did that right. 125 plus 75 plus 210 plus 150 plus 375 plus 140.29 plus 25. Nope. Yeah, wait. Plus 25 plus 61.75. That's 11.87 and 4 cents. I'm missing something. 62.96. What did I do with $62.96 in the first paycheck? So this is a little bit out of sequence. I'm jumping all over the place, but $62.96, right? That was that credit card payment that I made in the first week of the month of February. So that's where that money went. So that means including that credit card payment, we had a zero-based budget when we closed out that first paycheck of February. And then for paycheck budget number 2 for the month, we budgeted $1,000, and we had $1,000 come in that we used. So $100 went to tithe. We planned to invest 75, but we only invested 60. We planned to save 105 outside of annual bills, but we only saved 60. We planned to pull 125 in cash, but we only pulled out 85. 375 went aside towards March's rent. And we save that in a high yield savings account just so that when the next month comes, we already have the rent put aside. And plus, we get a little interest, a couple dollars a month, doesn't hurt. Bills, we paid 2 more bills for $140.95. Our household account got 25, miscellaneous got 25, the cushion got nothing. We put $120 towards annual bills since that was the top goal. We did have an account balance of $3.28 at the end of this paycheck budget. So we were a little bit low. I like to track this because I like to see where, if we've been dipping into the cushion, and we were using it for a few different things. But life happens, especially when you have a newborn. You just don't. It's like as much as we prepared, and I've shared it on the channel how we've been preparing for the new baby, there's still things that come up that you just didn't remember or think about. So stuff happens. All right, so for paycheck number 3, the plan was $1,000. We used $900. That was the actual paycheck. So our tithe was 90. Investments were 45. We saved 45. Cash, we pulled out $100. A fourth of the rent went aside for March. That's $375. I think we paid 2 bills again this week, and that was $117.49. Annual bills got $120. That's a savings. And I was supposed to put money towards debt. The plan was $105, but we were $100 under what we budgeted for income. So we ended up with a $7.51 left over. So that just stayed in the account as a cushion, and our balance at the end of that paycheck was $10.79. I'm using natural light and the sun went down, but I hope you can still see what's going on this paper. So paycheck number 4, we did plan for $1,000 and we did use $1,000. Nope. For the, yes, we did $1,000 for the 4th paycheck. I think that's right. Let me see, because I don't remember if I used extra. Yeah. Okay. Stupid airplane. So we had $1,000 for the paycheck number 4. $100 went to our giving. $55 was invested in the last paycheck. $191.77 was saved, including what we put towards annual bills. Cash, we pulled out $100. A fourth of the rent was $375. $129 paid some bills. $50 went to our household account and nothing to miscellaneous or to cushion. Nothing extra went to debt for that week. The plan was $275, but I realized I had to shift things once I realized that we still had another installment to put into annual bills. So we just saved that money instead, but we do have a debt payment, a big debt payment that we're going to make in March. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear what we plan to do for our budget in March. So our total expenses, $1,077 when I added everything up. That dipped into our cushion a little bit, and we did end up with a balance of $30.02. I think what happened is some of the money I didn't use, I just left it behind. But that's where we ended the month, $30.02 in our cushion. And then this is how I like to break down what money went where. And I use my spreadsheet, and I'll probably update you guys on how much we've been saving in the first quarter, somewhere in the first week of March, April, or the end of March. We'll figure it out. But in paycheck 1, $25 went to the 529 for my oldest son, $25 went to Fidelity for investing, and $25 went to Robinhood. And then for savings, I split it between wellness, food, transportation, and then remember extra $120 went to annual bills. And then in paycheck 2, $20 was invested in Fidelity, $20 into Robinhood, and $20 into M1 Finance. And then for savings, that $60 was split between food, transportation, and wellness. These are like our top 3 most important categories that we need to save for, because transportation is expensive and we're saving up for a new car. So we have to put money in there as consistently as possible. For paycheck number 3, I did a whole bunch of savings. I saved more. So again, when I go through my quarter 1 financial goals update, I'll share how much we've saved in all of those different categories. But $30 went to the funds that we have in Ally Bank, and $15 went to the funds we have with Capital One. For savings, for investing in paycheck 3, $20 went to Fidelity, $25 went to my second son's 529 college plan, and then paycheck number 4, we invested $50 into Schwab or via Schwab, and $5 into Robinhood. Now, Charles Schwab used to be TD Ameritrade, but Schwab bought them out. So, no, Schwab used to be TD Ameritrade, but Schwab bought them. That's what I said. And then for savings, $25 went to the emergency fund in the last paycheck. $121.77 topped off our annual bill so we could have that full $500 balance by the end of February. And $45 went to our food fund. Again, we've been spending from that fund, but we're saving in it too. So we don't have an actual, like, how much did I spend on food, unless you stay tuned for my expense tracking videos. So for February, we charged on this credit card a total of $870.16. That includes some bills and some purchases from other funds like transportation. But I had an issue because, and I still have this issue, it hasn't been resolved at the time I'm recording this video. For $41.98, I was charged twice from Uber, and so I've already submitted a problem. I reported a problem through Capital One, and then I also disputed the charge with Uber. So we're still working on that. They have to take one of these off. So that 870 and 16 cents in reality is 828 and 18 cents. So I'm just waiting, but I have paid back for multiple charges, like the bills that we charged, and some of the food expenses we did pay back already. All right, and that's this expenses, and then for the credit card, and then expenses for my operating account. That's the one that I just like to see what income came in where, even if it was just interest or small, you know, um, income that I usually get from like KDP or Amazon affiliates or things like that. Any kind of bonuses, referral income, I track all of it here, even though we may not use all of it at the time. And then I just put in right in whenever money was transferred out to one of the investments, or if I've moved money towards different savings, I track it here. And then I started with a balance of $61.78. And at the end of the month, if you were watching just now, we ended with $30.02. That was the balance ending after all the transactions for the month were accounted for. So we have to work on building that cushion up again. Um, sometimes you have to use it, but I would feel more comfortable, me personally, with at least $1,000 in there, knowing that we are now a family of 6. Anything can come up at any random time, and I want to be prepared. I do not like being ill prepared. So we're trying to get all of our goals met, reaching our savings goals. Let me put this down. Reaching our savings goals is important, as well as making sure we're investing for the long term and saving for our kids. So, that the purpose of my budget and in my budget style is to make sure, can we work with the least amount of income and still pay all of our bills that we need to pay, and get some money in our savings, keep giving, and put money where it's going to matter most, even if it's for short term or future spending. Um, I like to save that money and then try to stick to that budget right there. So if I put $100 in household, and let's say we already had $50 or $60 in there, then now we have 160, and we have to work with that. So if we need garbage bags, if we need paper products, if we need cleaning products, we got to stick to that budget. Why? Because we have other goals that we have to hit. We have children that we have to care for, and we need that emergency cash. So that's just how I like to do it. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you had a chance while I did this to look at your budget, to go over your numbers and review and see how well you did. I hope you were able to check off some goals that you hit, and let me know how February was for you. I think February was good for us because we saved a whole lot more than we planned to, and we hit our annual bills goal. And even though we haven't paid off all of November's credit card charges yet, we have a plan in place. So I'm comfortable going forward in March with being able to attack some of those old charges so we can get the credit card balance paid down quickly. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you followed along well, and I hope that you are having a wonderful, wonderful end of winter. Spring is almost here. If y'all live on the East Coast, if you live in America, spring will be here soon. We were trusting God for the warmer weather. And God bless you. Thank you for watching. Continue to mind your money, manage it well, and live your lives abundantly. Bye for now.